gentlemen, rolling right along, our next presenter this evening is a journalist for A Quarter and Dream Pictures. He's a former apprentice to Master of Horror Clive Barker. He is a Wu-Tang Clan inspired superhero, Wu Manchu. He's an award-winning short filmmaker, a stand-up comedian, a storyteller, a fashion designer, a philanthropist, and founder of Pueblo's independent multimedia podcast and festival director at both Sareth Fest still pausing, and Comedy Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Sareth Ney as he presents Get Real in the Mouth of Madness.
Check. Yep. Awesome. Thanks, Derek. St. Augustine, how are ya? My name is Sareth Ney, and I have a story to tell. When I was a kid, I grew up on movies such as Hellraiser, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, and Candyman. And I remembered how Candyman scared me for 6 years straight. I slept with the lights on, the doors open, even with the lights on, showering and everything. And the only person that could put me to sleep was Delilah from the radio. A couple years later, in 2008, someone messaged me on MySpace saying, Clive Barker is releasing a book called Mr. Begone, and it's about a demon that possesses the book while you're reading it. After I finished it, I emailed Clive's website, and they forwarded my email to Los Angeles, and I got interviewed by Clive Barker himself. In the summer of 2009, he gave me the tweet, but before that, Stephen King said, I've seen the future of horror fiction, and his name is Clive Barker. And then he passed the torch to me, and he said, the Requiem, Sareth is a gentleman, and much loved in my household. I hold him in the highest regard. In the same summer, he called me Young Harvey, and Harvey is a character in The Thief of Always. And it's his children's book, believe it or not. So I highly recommend it, and all 4 seasons happen in one day, just like the book. And everything that I wanted to happened in his studio. On the last day of my summer internship, I managed to bring the RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan up to the studio. And he is responsible for the Wu-Tang Clan, the score of Kill Bill Volume 1, and he's also the member of Gravediggers. It's a horrorcore group. And he asked me if I ever heard of them, but not at that time, I just knew the Wu-Tang Clan. On the same day, RZA and Clive didn't get to meet. So what Clive did was pulled a painting off his wall, and he autographed it, and he signed it over to me. And he goes, when you get back from Colorado and finish college, I want you to hang this up in your office, and I want you back as my apprentice. So he took me in for 3 years, and while I was finishing up my degree, I made a short film called The Narcoleptics, part of the 24-hour film festival in Pueblo, Colorado. We made the short film in 12 hours, and we ended up winning the award for best film to watch while stoned. I moved back out to LA, and I went and saw Big Trouble in Little China at the Egyptian Theater, and John Carpenter was doing a Q&A session. And I grabbed my Amoeba laser disc that I bought from Amoeba, and he autographed it, same as Rain. And he was responsible for the movie In the Mouth of Madness, which is inspired by this slide presentation. And while I was out there with Clive, I became a concert journalist, and I invented my own style of journalism called Tiger Style journalism. It's AP style plus Chicago style, and you multiply it by Gonzo style. And I got autographed by Slim Kid Trey of The Far Side. And I just showed my ID, and I went to all over the Sunset Strip almost every single night, and they just let me in and said, go ahead, kid, take photos. Even sold out shows, including the Cypress Hill, The Doors minus Jim Morrison, Wax, Warner Drive, the local band, Teddy Geiger, the Mayhem Festival, Soundgarden, and so on, Deftones. I ended up meeting more members of the Wu-Tang Clan, and that's how I became Wu Manchu. I didn't know what I wanted to be for Halloween, and so Wu Man was close enough. So you might see me at a horror convention near you or something like that. And the last two were at Paper Route. So after I moved back home to Colorado, Clive shocked me and surprised me with my own credit in his movie Nightbreed, the director's cut. And it's where the monsters are the good guys and the humans are the bad guys. And it came out in 2014, but the original came out in 1989 when I was 7 years old. And it's right underneath New Beverly Cinema, which is Quentin Tarantino's movie theater. I faced my fear and I met Tony Todd, who played Candyman. And we made a Wu-Tang W with his hook in my hand. And I also met Corey Taylor at another horror convention. And he says, "You ain't nothing to fudge with, kid." He loves Wu-Tang Clan too. After moving back home to Colorado, I managed a band called the Widowhood Effect. And they are a mashup between Alice in Chains meets Mumford & Sons. And we went on tour to the West Coast, and I got them on the radio and had them record an album that's like a 3-song EP in 7 days. And after everything was said and done, I moved to Florida from Colorado, and I said, I need 3 bands to do comics. And they all wanted in on it. And one night only turned into a festival called Sareth Fest. And the artwork is in honor of Clive, Huntress Thompson from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and Ralph Steadman. They're my inspirations. And every night, every Wednesday night, I perform at the Ternanog Irish Pub to cut my teeth as a stand-up comic. And my friends notice that I don't say any curse words when I do stand-up, but I'm really dirty. So they called me the cleanest, dirtiest comic in Daytona Beach, thanks to Kevin. So when the Quarter Zone was still in town, we had a comedy festival for him. And we raised $300 for him after Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Matthew hit. And I only wish that Carla was here for us in attendance to see this, but I'll send her the video later. So I got to meet one of my favorite stand-up comedians, Joe Coy. And the video's on YouTube, and he grabs my phone for a 13-second clip. He said, "Plug something big." I said, "Sareth Fest." He goes, this is Joe Coy, this is my boy Sareth, local comic, go support him. Sareth Fest, go check him out, funny. And we've been having Sareth Fest in Colorado for 10 years and Daytona Beach for 3. I took all my stuff during quarantine and my Clive story, my concert stories, and my stand-up, and I took it all and put it all in one package. And it world premiered at the Orlando Fringe, the 30th annual. And I was only expecting to sell one ticket for $12, but I ended up coming home with $700. Thank you. And I released an album called Sex, Jokes, and Rock and Roll, which is 25 minutes of dirty jokes with no curse words. And this comedy special that's hidden on YouTube. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll get the link. But it's 9 hours long, so watch it at your own risk. My name is Sareth Ney. Get up for the Elks Lodge, Pecha Kucha. My name is Sareth Ney. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Sareth Ney.